Now to the major road connectivity and the Milton Keynes Cambridge connectivity study. Naomi.
Thank you very much, Chair. The purpose of this paper and this session on the agenda is to invite forum members to consider a proposal for ensuring an equal level of understanding of connectivity needs across the Heartland area. As members will know, we're already working with the Department for Transport and Highways England on developing a connectivity study for the planned section of the Oxford to Cambridge Expressway between Oxfordshire and Milton Keynes. Through that work, we're starting to engage with local transport authorities, local planning authorities and local enterprise partnerships to develop our understanding of what's needed for the connectivity study, and we'll shortly be approaching local partners to arrange a workshop to discuss it. The aim of the connectivity studies and these proposed additional studies is to get a much firmer view of the connectivity studies across the Heartland. So this proposal is about looking at what we're doing already in the section between Oxford and Milton Keynes and saying, do we need to look at connectivity challenges towards the east of the M1 to decide whether or not we need to adopt a similar approach on that side of the M1 of the Heartland as well. In developing that proposal, geography is going to be clearly a very important part. Consideration is quite a large area. The consideration would be to look at the expressway between Milton Keynes and Cambridge, including the A428 Blackout Caxton Gibbet improvement scheme, which I know we're having an update on later. It would also need to consider the role of East West Rail within the connectivity study, but go much broader than that and look at the geography towards the east of Cambridgeshire, as we've been discussing, and also towards the northwest. The purpose of developing the connectivity studies would be for us to have a clear understanding of geographies across the Heartland, but also to be able to inform our investment requirements and priorities as we move into the transport strategy during the summer, but also beyond that as we plan our investment prioritisation through to 2050, through up to 2050. What we're proposing to do, subject to forum members agreeing, is have a look at the geography of the corridor of the Heartland area to the east of the M1, and Annex 1 is a map of the proposed study area. It is a large area and has quite a few different kind of corridor behaviours within it. So towards the northern section, we've got Peterborough and obviously some of the Cambridgeshire. And it's important that we work with the combined authority, who are also doing quite a lot of work in this area to make sure that what we do complements and doesn't duplicate activity already underway. Towards the further south, we've got Luton and Hertfordshire and some of the central beds, and it would be about working to look at what we know about that area and the kind of connectivity challenges that are needed there as well. To take it from here, we propose working through the Transport Officer Support Group to look at the evidence that we need and make a decision on the type of study or studies that we'll need to take forward, and then we will bring it back to the forum to say this is what we've learned, this is what we think we need to do to develop that further. So I think this is a moving feast, and it's just about bringing you and making sure that you're content with us to proceed in this way, or any views that you have. In terms of timing for the studies, there are two key things that we need to look at. First of all, we need to be mindful of the fact that in the summer we are being asked to present the forum with a proposal for taking forward the major road network, and we're going to discuss that in agenda item 6. So members will need to have as much information as possible available to them to inform the prioritisation process for the major road network and large local majors in the first 5-year programme of that. But beyond that, it's about looking towards the spending review that we're expecting at some point this year to inform how EEH as an STB presents our investment priorities for the spending review and our investment priorities moving forward beyond that into the future. And this piece of work is absolutely fundamental to informing that. To take it forward, we propose a very similar methodology to the methodology that we're proposing for the connectivity study between Oxford and Milton Keynes, which is to use the regional evidence base that we have developed as England's economic heartland. We have an awful lot of evidence there, and as part of that we're developing a policy simulation tool which looks at how travel patterns in the future might change across the Heartland area. From that we will learn some key priority corridors that we need to look at, where there are particular pressures and particular challenges, and then we will work with the Transport Officer Support Group and with the Forum to develop proposals and scenarios to find solutions to those particular challenges. So it will be a very staged approach that we will work with you through. It will mirror what we're already proposing for the existing section and apply to a study between Oxford and Milton Keynes, and it's about just providing a consistent picture across the Heartland area.
Questions or comments? Nigel?
Did I hear now that you mentioned the A1?
I didn't mention the A1 specifically, however, it's a very good challenge, and in the paper it does acknowledge that there are a number of studies that we will need to bring in as we develop the connectivity studies, which would be the A428 Caxton, but would be the expressway study, and would in addition be the A1M strategic study.
Okay, so the current situation with the A1 south of the A1M is, again, there are 5 roundabouts on the A1, and they're all in our area. And we're currently in heated dialogue with Highways England about the ability of the A1 right now to cope with growth. So they have a holding objection for an application for 1,500 homes, and to date, nothing will get HE to remove that holding objection. And this is scheduled to...
DFT and HE have told me that there's plenty of capacity in the A1M.
Apparently there's not sufficient capacity around Biggleswade to join...
There is. Very clearly told by DFT there is.
Yeah, well, according to our colleagues in HE in Bedford itself, David, this producing 1,500 homes is not possible without substantial mitigation measures, which they believe may make the application unviable. Blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah. And we've been in this since well before Christmas, and they'll maybe come back to us in 3 weeks. Sorry to lay that out that way, but that impacts our local plan and clearly impacts this single application. So the A1 is much more serious issue than I think we realise in growth terms.
I'm happy if you can name laid out to me. I'm happy to take back and do the joins about be clear about who with DFT made statements, and
I'd welcome that. We could get together.
No.
Note to the meeting.
I will investigate, not answer, as it were.
Indeed, thank you.
But
I will not.
my point.
I will not bite on the A1. Let's move on.
Chair, if I might just make an observation, I think the point that Councillor Young is picking up is something I'm starting to pick up in a number of places across the country. We had a meeting of all the STBs get together on a quarterly basis. We had a conversation only last week. We were hearing from our colleagues in the Western Combined Authorities around Bristol, where they're in a situation where they've been through a process working with Highways England to develop a spatial strategy, and they're now getting to the point where, at an inquiry, the inspector is saying, where's the evidence that this infrastructure will be delivered? So it's not that Highways England aren't engaging, they're going through the process quite rightly and working together. Chair, it's getting to the point where I think it's just useful to reflect on, as England's Economic Heartland, one of the things that we're going to be working on over the next 6 months is to develop an investment portfolio approach, which is where the item on the major road network becomes quite important as well. Because I think we need to lay out, user spending review is an opportunity to lay out what pieces of infrastructure are actually going to help unlock and deliver certain outcomes, partly because we need to pitch it in front of the Treasury, but also potentially other partners and sources of funding. And I think we just need to be, if you like, capturing across the whole of the Heartland area what the opportunity is, but also what the investment requirement is as well, and then using the ability through the autumn and into the spending review on your behalf to be putting that into the debate, so that we can kind of think about how we unlock the funding, which is probably the most important thing here.
Councillor Young, if I may, if I may take that as an action to take away with with Phil Andrews, and we will make sure that we come and report back to you.
Chair, if I could just make an observation. I mean, Councillor Young will be aware of this, but Luton, Central Beds, Hertfordshire and North Herts District are actually collaborating at the moment on an A505 study. Now that study started work in October. The first stage report on that, which is examination of the issues that the area currently faces, is complete. I think the next stage of the process is collecting information about what the movements are in terms of technical and looking at options. I think there are two issues here. I mean, we need to make sure, and I'd already been in touch with Naomi about this, that we can feed the information from that process into that. But I think more importantly, now that the consultants are at the second stage of doing the work, which is the collecting the data, to avoid any discrepancies between the work that our consultants are doing. I think it's important that we progress this issue about consultants having access to the EEH database.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we will. We are more than happy to make sure that we can secure alignment as soon as possible. I think the other thing is to make sure to all partners that they are assured that this connectivity work will only be done in complement to activity already underway. It's about filling in the gaps rather than replacing activity that's already completed and fresh, rather than it's about adding value rather than anything else.
And just in terms of the question, the comment we had at the very beginning of the meeting, just you talked about changing travel plans, but we just must look at the carbon and other pollutants that go through there, and it should be a reduction. And 2050 is a long way away, and there is a view of many councils around the area and governments that it should be reduced much quicker than that, because we haven't got to 2050 sort of problem. So can we just make sure we add that in? Obviously, vehicles sitting at junctions and polluting, though there are many that now cut out, not all of them do, and some junctions can be very, very bad. So can we just make sure we add that within all this, and not ignore that question at the beginning? Any other comments?
Just of course we do, we have a lot of work on the A1s, let's not lose sight, not reinvent wheels, and with all respect to consultants, we pay consultants twice
Yeah.
in some of these areas.
Get rid of the roundabouts so we can move on. I promise not to bite tonight. Moving on, the to develop the forum's understanding of connectivity between Milton Keynes and Cambridge, and agree to proceed with the recommended programme of work to develop the required evidence base. People content with that? Thanks very much. Moving on to